Let's dive into one of the biggest, yet most invisible technological shifts happening in the world right now. It's being called the Great Upgrade, and honestly, it's rewriting the very language that trillions of dollars use to talk to each other every single day.
Think about it. Every day, an unimaginable amount of money moves between banks, across borders, through this vast, complex global network. So how does that actually work? How does a bank in Tokyo know exactly where to send money for a specific invoice in Toronto?
Well, it turns out they use a special code. It's a messaging language that acts like a universal translator for global finance. And here's the kicker. After decades of using the same old system, the entire world is in the middle of upgrading to a brand new one as we speak.
Now, to really get why this is such a huge deal, we first need to look at the old language. For the last 40 years or so, the global financial system has basically been communicating using something that works a lot like a telegram.
Yeah, this old standard is called MT, which stands for message text. And just like a telegram, it gets the job done, but it's incredibly limited. All the information is just kind of crammed into these unstructured text blocks, and it can only handle a really basic set of characters. I mean, it was revolutionary for its time, but in today's digital world, it's an absolute antique.
So what do you replace a financial telegram with? Well, you replace it with a completely new, modern, and universal language for finance. And that's what's happening. Say hello to the new standard, known as ISO 2022, or MX for short.
And the difference here is, well, it's night and day. Where the old MT messages were all jumbled up and ambiguous, the new MX messages are built on a structured foundation. What that means is, instead of limited, confusing data, we get rich, detailed information that is flexible and crystal clear. It's kind of like going from a blurry, black and white photo to a super high-resolution color image.
Okay, let's break this down a bit. The format is moving from those old, messy text blocks to a structured format called XML. This takes the data quality from lumped together and confusing to granular and super precise. And look at the character set. We're going from a limited set to Unicode. This is a massive deal for global communication. It means banks can finally use characters from languages all over the world in their messages. This isn't just an update, it's a complete overhaul.
So this all sounds great in theory, right? But what does it actually look like in the real world? Let's decode a payment to see the difference between a jumbled line of text and truly clear data.
We're going to look at the workhorse of international payments, the MT-103. This is the classic message for a single customer payment. Its modern equivalent, its new name in the MX language, is PAX.008.
And here is a perfect example of the old problem. In the MT format, a customer's address is just one long, messy string of text. A computer basically has to guess where the street number ends and the street name begins. You can see how that's just a recipe for confusion and really expensive errors.
But the new MX format, it completely solves this. That same jumbled line is now neatly unpacked into separate, clearly labeled fields. One for the street name, one for the building number, and one for the city. There is absolutely no guesswork needed.
So why does that matter? Because this level of detail, this granularity, is a total game changer. It dramatically reduces payment errors, and it allows for much better, much faster, and way more accurate automated screening for things like fraud and regulatory compliance.
But you can't just flip a switch on the entire world's financial system overnight. That would be chaos. This upgrade is a massive undertaking, and it's got some serious challenges. It's kind of like trying to change the language of every air traffic controller in the world, all while the planes are still in the air. To manage this incredible feat, the industry created what's called the coexistence period. It started back in March of 2023, and it runs all the way until November 2025. During this window, both the old MT language and the new MX language are allowed on the network. But after that date, the old telegram system for cross-border payments gets switched off for good.
Now, to make sure everyone speaks this new language in the same way, there's a rulebook. It's called CBPR+. Think of it this way. If ISO 20022 is the new dictionary, CBPR+ is the grammar guide. It makes sure that a bank in Brazil uses the new data fields in the exact same way as a bank in Belgium, which guarantees consistency across the entire globe.
During this coexistence period, though, there's this big risk called truncation. So imagine an upgraded bank receives a beautiful, rich, detailed MX message. But then it has to send that payment onward to a bank that hasn't upgraded yet. The message has to be translated back into the old, smaller MT format. And when that happens, important data, like a full address or crucial invoice details, can literally get cut off and lost. It's a major challenge that banks are working to manage right now.
So after all this complexity, all these challenges, what's the ultimate payoff? Why is the whole world going through this massive effort? Well, this is about building the future of payments, and it really matters, far beyond the walls of a bank.
And just to give you an idea of the scale here, it's staggering. By 2025, it's projected that over 90% of all high-value payments worldwide will be using this new ISO 20022 standard. This isn't some minor update. This is a fundamental rewiring of the global economic plumbing.
So what does all this new, richer data actually unlock for us? Well, for starters, we get enhanced transparency, so it's much clearer who is paying whom and for what. We get fewer errors and fewer failed payments. We get massively improved compliance. But maybe most importantly, this creates a foundation for innovation, a platform on which new, smarter, and faster payment services can be built for decades to come.
And that really leaves us with a final thought. For the very first time, money can carry rich, structured information along with it. This isn't just about moving value from A to B anymore. It's about moving intelligence. The question is no longer just if a payment will arrive, but what new possibilities can we unlock now that our money is finally getting smarter?